Right, let's get behind the headlines now. We often talk about business innovation, but how exactly do you disrupt an entire sector? Companies like Uber went from a private hire firm in San Francisco to a $50 billion valuation in less than 5 years. And Airbnb, a room letting website, recently valued at $31 billion. Well, our next guest believes he has the secrets. Describing himself as a master innovator, David Walker works with global brands, helps them evolve, claims his agency Happen has delivered over $4 billion for its clients to date. So let's try and tap into some of that knowledge and share some of those secrets with you. David, what are the one or two key points for a business to innovate if there's a crowded sector that they want to then disrupt and take ownership of?
Well, I think the first thing to say is about focusing on the right sort of innovation. So, you know, you called out Uber and Airbnb in the introduction. Those are quite rare, those kind of transformations. And in fact, lots of big businesses working in crowded consumer markets like food, drink, retail, household, personal care, those sorts of things. For them, smart commercial innovation can be just as effective. And of that 4 billion that you mentioned, probably 70% of that has been much more sort of incremental innovation, but which nevertheless solves a problem for people.
How do you reach that 4 billion figure? Is that the extra profit they make or what?
That's in incremental sales through products that we've worked on. But the real trick in that is discovering a frustration or a missed need amongst consumers that nobody else has solved. And it doesn't have to be something that's sort of life-changing in order to build a product. To give you an example, Omega Pharma launched into the UK market very successfully with BronchoStop. Now, that's a cough medicine into a crowded market, but the difference with BronchoStop is that it fixes all coughs. Now, most people, when they go and buy a cough mixture, you don't know whether you've got a tickly cough, a chesty cough, or what sort of cough it is. So it's just taken one little step out of the equation, and it was enough to give them a space in the market.
I see. OK, so what do you encounter when you're working with a business? What do you encounter as the biggest obstacles to innovation?
Well, the first one is actually focusing on the right things, what we just talked about. The second is discovering those little frustrations, if you like. And large organisations or people who've worked in a category for a long time often find it difficult to see the wood for the trees. And that's where you need to turn to looking at the world in a different way through different research methodologies, through ethnography or watching people, or increasingly we're using digital analytics to go out there into the web space and look for, because people are expressing frustration out there. It's one of the things that we like to, talk about the most. But the problem is, of course, it's also full of other stuff. Stuff we're not interested in. So you need analytics that can zoom in on those indicators, those little weak signals that something's been missed, and that's a great place to start. But it's difficult to do.
OK, of course, if it was easy, everyone would do it. David, thank you very much. David Walker.